Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick from MMA Pixels Split Decision. I'm here with Chelsea LaGrasse. How you doing, Chelsea?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. You got a fight coming up April 20th against our Premier Fighting Championship.
Yep.
This will be your second fight at Atomweight, correct?
Yes. Second fight at atom weight.
Your last fight was obviously your first one. How did that feel fighting at a lower weight class? I know before you really didn't cut any weight.
Yeah. Before I actually fought as a flyweight, and I used to walk around a little bit heavier than what I do now. Plus, it was amateur, so I wasn't worried about cutting a whole lot of weight as an amateur. But I felt a lot better fighting at 105 pounds. The weight cut was not really that fun, but I felt stronger and I felt like I had more of a competitive advantage at that weight.
Yeah, that fight went to a decision, so you felt strong all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my issue with that fight was not like my cardio or my strength or anything like that. That was just my lack of aggression. Too I had the aggression too late in the fight, not soon enough. So that's what that fight came down to.
It was it something that caused that?
It's just something that I've been working on personally. I tend to be a slow starter even in training. I take the first few rounds to kind of warm up and feel things out, and I kind of am working on getting over that and just being aggressive from the start. And I think most of it's mental more than anything.
It sounds like a tournament would be perfect for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I've been trying to do some jujitsu tournaments here and there to get some more experience and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you do a lot of other combat sports, right? Like grappling and some boxing.
Yeah, I've done boxing before, mostly just like exhibitions and charity events, but yeah.
And I mean, what was first, martial arts or boxing, wrestling?
I started first with jujitsu and kickboxing, basically, and when I first started, I was working with a lot of wrestlers, so I learned a lot of wrestling techniques along with the jujitsu, and then the kickboxing. That's what I first started out with.
Right on. This is going to be your second pro fight. What can you take away from your first experience as a pro, your first fight?
Well, this is actually my
Yeah,
fourth
I'm
pro
sorry.
fight, but yeah, each fight I learned something different about myself, um, and I try to take as much from those fights as I can and correct those things and use them in the next fight. And the more experience you get being in the cage or in the ring in front of people, the better and the more comfortable you feel out there. And like I said, my biggest thing I've been working on is just being more aggressive from the start and not taking that time to feel things out.
Right. I'm sorry. I know it's not your first fight. I meant because you had three in three fights. Now that you
Right,
had
right.
the experience.
I know what you mean.
So, anything that you're doing different in this training camp, preparing for your opponent?
Not really. I mean, just outside of training camp, I spend a little bit more time in my gi and just kind of have fun with training. And then during fight camp, we really hone in on my strengths and making those as strong as possible. And this camp, I've been trying to just make sure I'm having fun and not torturing myself and just enjoying the experience because that's why I fight anyways because I like it and I enjoy it. So just making sure that no matter what, I'm having fun and enjoying the process.
I know in the past you said that you are working more on your striking. You just brought up working in the gi. Is that something that you do based on your opponent, or is that just on your own growth where you pick one discipline to focus on?
During fight camp, it depends on the opponent. Definitely what we focus on. If they are more of a striker, then we'll focus on the striking aspect and the ground aspect. If they're more of a ground person and I know that they're better on the ground, then I'll probably try to stay away from that and work on my striking. So it really just depends, but working on the gi is something that I've ignored for a while, and that's something on my list of things that I want to accomplish is moving up in the belt system with the gi outside of fighting or whatever. That's just something personal that I want to work on.
Was that the big shock? Like you did no-gi grappling before you went to the gi?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was it really difficult to once you transitioned or tried to?
It's definitely different. I don't know if difficult's the right word, but it's different. It's a lot slower. It's a lot more technical and methodical. And I'm really starting to enjoy it now that I'm doing it more often. But at first, it was weird.
Right. Um, I know mental fitness and being strong is a real part of your life and it's something that you preach. Can you tell us something that you do to be able to be like that to to be so mentally strong?
Um, it really just takes practice, just like everything else. You exercise your body every day, and you have to exercise your mind every day too. And some days are harder than others, but I think it comes down to um, being strong and passionate about what you're doing and having the drive to do those things, because if you're just doing stuff just because you think you have to, or you're not really enjoying it, then you probably won't have a whole lot of motivation or drive to complete it. So I always make sure that I put everything into things that I actually care about and things I actually want to accomplish in my life. And then I try to just remember when I'm having hard times why I started doing what I'm doing, what the end goal is here. And that's just kind of how I have lived my life for the last 10 years or so. And it just, that consistency and that practice every day makes it a little bit easier. And like I said, you'll have good days and bad days, and some days I still struggle and don't have motivation, but sometimes that's when you have people around you that support you and encourage you and help get you back on that path.
Right. You mentioned your end goal. What is that as far as fighting?
I don't really know what my end goal is as far as fighting. I didn't start to fighting because I wanted to, be the world champion or make millions of dollars or anything like that. I started it because I just wanted to. And so we'll take it as far as I feel like taking it. And when I don't feel like doing it anymore, then I won't do it anymore. So that's just how that goes.
Right on. So who's been your biggest supporter of this training camp? Any coaches, training partners, or sponsors you want to shout out?
Yeah, definitely. My boyfriend and my daughter are big supporters of me. They help with things around the house and get things done when I'm in training camp that I don't have as much time for. And they're always huge supporters of me anyway. And then my main coach is Corey Minton, and he's been the main one helping me get ready for this fight, and he was with me for my last fight as well. And then there's a lot of other people at Ronin and at Triumph Training Center that are helping me get ready. Devin and Jade and Melanie are my main training partners, and then of course, Gary, my manager, he's awesome. He sets up a lot of different interviews and sponsorships and all kinds of things for me, and I really couldn't do it without him. And I have a lot of sponsors, so I might forget some of them, but all of you guys are awesome. Women of Combat, Never Tap, Bad Chicks MMA, Fighter Alias, all you guys are awesome. Everybody is very helpful, and I really couldn't do it without all of them.
Right on. Are you selling tickets for this event?
I am not. You can buy tickets online. I will post that when we get a little bit closer to the fight. And then I think you can also stream it online, which I'll post that too, or you can look on their Facebook page.
Oh wow! And then that's a Premier Fighting Championship that's going down April 20th. Chelsea LaGrasse, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.